Hello and welcome back to my channel where I talk about Japan and the JET program. So if either of those things interest you, then be sure to subscribe. In last week's video, I took a look at my original draft for my statement of purpose that I wrote for my JET application way back in 2017, and I gave myself feedback on how to improve that. So in this week's video, it's part 2, and I am going to be applying the feedback I gave myself and reworking it into an improved 2021 version. So I'm going to go over that, point out the changes I made so you can see how you can apply that kind of feedback to your own statements of purpose. If you haven't seen last week's video yet, then I suggest you watch that first so you can compare the two versions, but you can click right here to watch that and then come back to this video because it's a good time over here. We're having fun. Actually, the version I went over last week, my original draft, is very similar to the final version that I ended up submitting. And obviously, I made it. I'm here, I'm on JET, so I'm a little bit worried that maybe I've meddled too much, changed too much, and maybe made it worse. So maybe let me know in the comments because I've been staring at it for hours. I can't tell anymore. Which version's better, guys? Do you prefer the original from last week or did I actually improve it this week? Let me know in the comments. And as I mentioned last week, if you're interested in getting feedback from me personally on a draft of your statement of purpose, then you can get that. Just click the link in the description to my Patreon page. I've already given feedback on a bunch of your guys' personal statements since the last video, and I've already seen some massive improvements, which is awesome to see. Okay, let's get into this week's video. Okay, it's done. Let's look at it. Let's look at the new and improved statement of purpose. Okay, so whatever I show on screen, I'm gonna highlight the specific changes that I made compared to the original, but let's get straight into it. So, introduction. My biggest passion in life is storytelling, which I was able to utilize at university as I studied video production. I chose the global version of my degree so I could have the opportunity to study overseas. Each culture has its own stories to tell, which is why Japan, with such a rich and unique culture, fascinates me so much. This brings me to my application for JET, as I look to share stories from my home in Scotland with the people of Japan and create new experiences to bring home and share with the people of Scotland. It's through this form of internationalization that I believe I am an ideal candidate for JET. Definitely changed up that beginning sentence, immediately zoning in on my passion and my unique selling point, less detail about my university course and stuff, and then I cut a sentence as well just to tighten it up a bit. Everything links smoothly. I've got my passion, my unique selling point, but this is relatively unchanged. It was just the beginning. I actually completely cut the next paragraph. That was very generic. There wasn't much to it. It's gone. She's dead. That's it. And the next paragraph was originally later in the essay, but I'm bringing it forward because it's going to answer the first question, so it just makes sense to do it that way. I have very clear goals for my time on the program. Using my skills as a videographer, I want to spread Japanese culture not only to the people I know personally in Scotland, but to a wider audience around the globe. This is something I have already started in whatever way I can. I volunteered in September to create a video for Japan Fair Glasgow 2017 to raise money for those affected by the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in 2011. Going through JET will also allow me to tell stories from a completely different cultural perspective and help me represent the country of Japan accurately going forward. In the same way, I am thrilled at the opportunity to represent Scotland and Japan, sharing authentic culture with my students such as Burns Night traditions and the multicultural events of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. With JET's goals of cultural exchange in mind, it is this potential to reach so many people, both in and out of Japan, through video and other means, that I can contribute to the program. So way more specific, giving clear examples. I tidied up the bit about the volunteer work I did, specifically mentioned more how I can use video in Japan, and yeah, overall much better, I think. Okay, then we move on to my Germany paragraph. My study abroad in Germany helped me prove to myself that I can adapt to new environments with ease. Germans are very respectful of others' privacy. I was quick to learn this while trying to develop friendships early in my time here. What might be a typical question for me to ask someone I'm trying to get to know in Scotland is just an awkward situation waiting to happen in Germany. However, due to my ability to read body language and adapt to new kinds of people, I picked up on this quickly and remained respectful of the people I was meeting. Over time, I learned the balance of fitting in with German culture while keeping my own Scottish way of life present. Events during the exchange like Culture Day helped me achieve this, giving international students a platform to present aspects of their home countries, such as sharing our traditional foods, helped me see the value of spreading cultures. This is where the goals of the JET program overlap with my own beliefs. The main part there which has changed is basically just giving a very clear example of an aspect of German culture which was unexpected for me. It was a challenge to overcome, showing that I could easily do that. Yeah, it just kind of answers the questions, which it didn't do before. And then I threw in a little example for when I mentioned Culture Day as well. Much, much better. I'm gonna award this most improved paragraph. Okay, through my teaching experience as a student demonstrator. See what I did there? No drawing attention to negatives. Much better. Through my teaching experience as a student demonstrator, I learned a vast amount about teaching, while realizing that working with young people is something I love and get a lot of value from. The fact I was asked to do this again year after year shows that I'm capable of teaching young people and gave me the opportunity to develop teaching techniques. There are two key elements of teaching that I gathered from this experience. All I did here was change the beginning to remove the negative, and then I deleted entirely the sentence detailing what I was doing in that workshop, which was irrelevant. That was all I did. Simple change, much better. And then the next two paragraphs, which talk about the two elements of teaching I find to be important, they're unchanged, so I'm not going to read them again. Seeing the young people in the workshops I ran learn and improve has been a big part of what has led me to seek out a new teaching role such as this. Being able to inspire and encourage these students was incredible, and this is something that excites me about JET. I want to inspire the young people of Japan not only to learn English, but to become more involved with another way of life. Equally, learning about Japan from my students and the people I will meet and bringing that home is something that can benefit so many people. This is what the JET program is all about. All I really changed there was in the beginning. I added a little more specificity. Everything I've just talked about for the last 3 mini paragraphs to bring it full circle. And finally, we have the conclusion, which is unchanged. I really liked my conclusions. So there we have it. Do you think that this new version was an improvement, or did I kind of meddle with it too much? Comment that below. And that's it. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please leave a like. I really, really appreciate it. And don't forget, of course, to subscribe if you want to see more videos about JET and Japan. Thank you, as always, guys. I will see you next week.